security situation, I assure you, is under control. The troops, they are doing very well. I commend them for the efforts they've put in so far.
Be more decisive in the battle against terrorists, bandits, and criminals. President Buhari directs Chief of Army Staff. Acting MD of NDDC slumps at House of Reps investigative hearing as committee chairman excuses self from leading proceedings. Monetary Policy Committee unanimously votes to retain major economic parameters.
When you can go home and you are at peace with your people, then what more can you want?
Former APC National Chairman returns to Edo ahead of September 19 governorship election. Good evening and welcome to NTA Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Kenen Iba Abodike. Reading with me tonight are Adeola Komia Kere from Lagos, Asmaul Habiba Shagari from Sakwato, while Mena Ukobasi joins me later from Enugu. We'll start with security matters, where President Muhammadu Buhari is tasking the Nigerian armed forces to be more proactive and decisive in the battle against terrorism, insurgency and other heinous crimes towards achieving sustainable peace and security in the troubled areas of the country. This was while engaging the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, on the achievements, challenges and setbacks regarding the recent military operations by the Army in parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Army Chief, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, who just returned from a military operation in Katsina State, met President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors. Exercise Sahel Sanity in the Northwest featured prominently at the meeting.
Well, they are fully supporting the already ongoing Operation Hadarin Daji, which is a joint operation of all the armed forces and the security agencies. This collective effort is making tremendous progress in the area of bringing about normalcy. We had a series of killings, kidnappings, cattle rustling, and of course the threat to prevent the people to go to their farms and farm this season. The security situation, I assure you, is under control. The troops, they are doing very well. I commend them for the efforts they've put in so far, and we are sure that this will be sustained, throughout this farming season and beyond, to ensure that our country is safe.
The progress made notwithstanding, President Muhammadu Buhari insists that sanity must be fully restored in the nation's security situation and the people of Nigeria adequately protected to pursue their legitimate businesses. General Buratai, however, said intelligence sharing and synergy between the law enforcement agencies and the civil populace are critical towards achieving the objectives.
These bandits are not outside Nigeria. They are not from foreign land. These terrorists, 99% of them are all Nigerians. These kidnappers, I would even say 100% of them are Nigerians. So it's not just the military tax and the security agencies tax to end the insecurity in this country. It's only when it goes bad that we are calling, but everybody has a responsibility. There are setbacks that can always occur in such type of military operations or any security agency operation, but that does not mean incapacity to handle it. That does not mean incompetence to handle it. As long as the efforts are there and they are visible, then the support of all and sundry will be required, to address this squarely.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, attended the meeting that lasted more than 1 hour. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
More logistics for effective operation will no longer be a challenge for the Nigeria Police Force. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, gave the assurance during a visit to the force headquarters in Abuja. Francis Fom was there.
Timely arrival to crime scenes as a result of inadequate operational facilities by the police, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation admitted is a great challenge, but no beyond the financial strength of the federal government. Availability of logistics without sincere commitment by the officers and men of the force is sheer waste of resources. So, the stick and carrot approach is fundamental for productivity.
And I want to give you the assurances of the President that he will always be there for the Nigeria Police Force, because he knows that the entire responsibility as the lead agency for internal security is at your doorsteps.
The police chief, Mohammed Adamu, is much more aware of the increasing number of homeland crimes peculiar to different regions and promised the force will not box below its weight in crime fighting.
To whom much is given, much more shall be expected. Crime, as you know, is a dynamic and increasingly complex phenomenon, and the nation demands higher level of loyalty, courage, and professional competence needed to move the Nigeria Police and indeed the nation to the next level in relation to internal security.
Thumbs up from the SGF to the Inspector General of Police for the innovation and reforms introduced since his assumption to duty. In Abuja, Francis Fom, NTA News.
Still on security matters, rising cases of social unrest and other breach of internal peace in parts of Nigeria remains critical factors for underdevelopment and mutual suspicion among diverse ethnic population. This was revealed during a lecture organized for a course executive participant 42 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Kuru Jos. Sadatu Mohammed Kafar reports.
The incessant and painful loss of lives and valuables of Nigerians perpetrated by insurgents, bandits, ethnic militias and abductors attracted the themes by this discussant.
The multidimensional and asymmetric nature of hybrid warfare presents a huge challenge to state actors, which the armed forces of Nigeria is part of.
The gap in the armed forces of Nigeria capacity for hybrid warfare has compelled the armed forces to commence the development of necessary competencies in men and equipment to better position troops for joint operations.
Director General NIPS, Professor Habu Galadima, describes the session as a strategic front for intelligence gathering in curbing criminal activities capable of undermining national security.
We have to adopt a hybrid tactics. There's no way we can run away from it. So far, the concentration and expectation of Nigerians and the government is to get the military to defeat these hybrid threats.
Participants gave their views on the session.
It is glaring that if there is no security in the nation, there will not be room for human capital development.
We'll continue to have a joint operations in order to dissolve the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast.
The lecture aims at marshalling out plans to restore peace in troubled regions of the country and develop workable strategies in curbing the menace and other criminal elements. In Jos, Saadatu Muhammad Kafa, NTA News.
Turning now to the National Assembly, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Ababia, says he has not interfered with the ongoing forensic audit of the Niger Delta Development Commission ordered by President Buhari. It was while making submissions before the House Committee on NDDC. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the momentary collapse of the acting managing director of NDDC, Professor Daniel Pondey, delayed proceedings.
The investigative hearing, which commenced last week Wednesday, was presided over by the Deputy Chairman of the committee, Representative Thomas Ereitomi, Monday, following the stepping aside of the Chairman, Olubunmi Ojo, due to what he explained as allegations of being on a mission of vengeance.
I hope this will give all parties opportunity to present their facts in the interest of the people of the Niger Delta.
Minister Niger Delta Affairs Godswill Akpabio, whose appearance was equal to a legislative summons, says the current management of NDDC did not award any contracts and that payments it made were below the threshold requiring approval of the supervising ministry. The forensic audit, he added, is ongoing.
The minister did not hijack the forensic audit. It is ongoing and it is going in line with due process.
House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, who joined the hearing, says the exercise is not an inquisition but an effort to establish happenings at the NDDC.
Now, this is not an adversarial hearing. It's not even inquisitorial. It's a fact-finding mission for the people of Nigeria.
On the collapse of the acting MD of NDDC, Professor Daniel Ponde, while answering questions on payments which the committee alleged were not captured in the 2009 approved budget of NDDC, Gbajabiamila says he might have been affected by the atmosphere in the hall, which was not air-conditioned, assuring that the acting MD has been taken to hospital for medical attention. The investigative hearing is on allegations of financial malfeasance and other activities at the NDDC. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
In the meantime, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, says the 9th National Assembly is committed to ensuring the establishment of higher institutions in all parts of Nigeria. He was speaking when he granted audience to a delegation of traditional rulers from Oyo State. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo tells us more.
Traditional rulers in Africa are synonymous with having meetings in their palaces, but on a day like this, the quest for national development through solidarity lured these custodians of culture to the National Assembly. It was a meeting with the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, in appreciation of Senate's commitment to establish a higher institution in Okeogun area of Oyo State.
This is about the biggest favor Okeogun zone is receiving from the central government since Nigeria was born.
Every part of this country must have a tertiary institution, education institution. And it's only fair that Okeogun zone has one.
Senator Lawan also met with a delegation of Ogoni people who also came for a similar purpose. In the committee room, the Senate Committee on Science and Technology met with the management of National Biotechnology Development Agency on the need for the completion of the Federal Government Bioresource Center, ADA, in Kogi State.
We estimate that what we need to conclude, to put everything there right now, including the equipment not yet installed, but already imported into the country, is about 340 million.
So we'll have fish deficiency of about 1.1 metric tons, which means that if this center is not well equipped and this center is not in production, the fish deficiency will continue for so many years.
Is one of those cases of abandoned projects in Nigeria, and it shouldn't be so. The government has good intention for setting up that project.
The center was established in 2015 with administrative building completed. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The Senate Committee on Power has affirmed its commitment to support agencies and organizations desirous of working in tandem with government's direction in ensuring sustainable power supply for the development of the country. Chairman of the committee, Gabriel Suswan, stated this when the committee visited the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, NDDC, and other agencies in continuation of his oversight function. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idebevo reports.
The visit took the Senate committee members to the Abuja Electricity
Distribution Company, the Material Management Office, and the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria. This is in response to the committee's quest to find solutions to the problems in the privatization of the nation's power sector. The challenges of the agencies include electricity theft, cost of accommodation, and inadequate funds for training of personnel as well as other infrastructure.
We are taking an opportunity to put a prayer to the Senate to look at that option. If it's possible that we could do some debt swap, probably with some cash, knowing that cash may be required because also NEMCO has some debts, then we could find a middle ground in which this matter could be resolved.
The committee acknowledged the infrastructural and technical deficits in the sector and promised legislative intervention.
We want to encourage the government to continue with the privatization as far as the power sector is concerned. And so what we are trying to do in the National Assembly is to identify the core challenges so that we can help the executive in addressing them.
The committee says such visits will be regular to ensure that the power sector is improved upon during this administration. Vivian Idekbefo, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time now for break. Stay with us.
You see, as I talk to you plenty now, because I get glue too, that make me talk. Please, I be not be so. All right. Don't be say I won't talk plenty. Una no say I not dey lie. You see this glow? If you get them, una no go even una go just they talk they go because it's not there.
Enjoy international calls from as low as 40 kobo per second from Nigeria to the world. Call your loved ones today.
Thank you, my sister. You do well, eh?
Glow Unlimited.
We understand that it's not just about buying a dress. Being able to pay your bills.
The ticket is showing cartoon.
But I just paid for it.
Promise.
I promise.
Making that quick stop at the shop. Or sending some money home for the holidays.
We just received the money right now.
You're welcome, Mom. I told you I would send it.
It's about the 90,000 businesses across 13 countries in Africa who trust us to keep their promises. It's knowing that anywhere, anytime, anyway, you can always pay. Flutterwave, simplifying payments for endless possibilities.
Condolence.
Really?
Yes.
There's an easier way to get more data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Today on Happy Clean 9 Job Mission, we visit Mrs. Johnson live in Lagos.
Ha! Helen Paul!
Hello, madam. Would you like to join us on this mission?
Yes, but how?
Just one question for you. How do you keep your toilet clean?
I use regular detergent and bleach for washing and removing yellow stains. I have been using it for years.
Oh, madam. The regular detergents and bleach are used for washing clothes. To clean your toilet properly, you need Harpic 10X. It is specially made for stains in the toilet. Harpic Thick formula settles on stains and gives 10 times better cleaning compared to regular detergents and bleach.
Wow! Now I'm convinced, Helen Paul.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that she's part of the mission, the next house is yours.
Encourage shopping with 5 That one
no fine. No,
it's too dull.
This one.
Oh wow, it's beautiful. Omo, this fabric. It gon' fade though.
Yeah. Look, make I tell you something. The new area Ankara, it go take good care of it. Not true.
But the price cheap. Try new Ariel on your Ankara and colors now.
We don't wait tire. Now it don't shell. See as then they go to the left, to the right. The defender stand up for ground. Go fight to conquer. Plenty things full ground for you. It's not the sweepers like this, oh. No feeling be like this at all. To conquer excitement inside football action. Live sports for GoTV. Enjoyment not in sweet pass to watch. Connect live action for La Liga, Serie A, Premier League, and WWE. As they hot, it don't settle. Get GoTV today for 9,200 naira. Where they come with 1 month GoTV Max subscription to enjoy correct sports with the super sports. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Welcome back. As we go to the economy, a 100 billion credit intervention fund has been made available by the Central Bank of Nigeria to address the capacity challenges. Chimaobi Walter Naji reports that this was made known by the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele during the inauguration of the Body of Experts of Health Sector Research and Development Intervention Scheme in Abuja.
Considering the recent global pandemic which has ravaged countries and exposed the weaknesses in many countries' health sector, including Nigeria, the need to look inwards to develop a new healthcare blueprint to address these deficiencies was the reason these experts in the health sector are assembled by the Central Bank of Nigeria to lead research in the sector and re-evaluate the performance of Nigeria's primary and secondary healthcare system, as well as develop local response to infections and healthcare challenges.
Currently, 20 projects valued at over 26.27 billion naira have been approved and funded by the CBN under our 100 billion naira credit support intervention for the healthcare industry. The program is designed to increase the nation's research and development activities that will help support the development of Nigeria-made vaccines, drugs, and herbal medicines.
I believe the combination of the team that I've seen here will do justice to this responsibility and ensure that the process will be driven by science, data, and facts that will be made available to you. So that as we are dealing with the adverse negative effects of COVID-19, we will also be setting a new pace of our healthcare delivery system.
Body of experts will diligently seek the truth by ascertaining how the hypothesis-driven questions raised in the proposal will be answered.
The federal government believes the time to cause a revolution in the sector is now to ensure improved health infrastructure and stop the cases of medical tourism out of Nigeria. In Abuja, I'm Chimaobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
The 274th Monetary Policy Committee meeting of the Apex Bank has held in Abuja amid concerns over coronavirus and policy steps to keep the Nigerian economy from a steep fall as predicted. Chimaobi Walter Naji once again reports.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has kept its monetary policy rate unchanged at 12.5% following the 274th meeting of the committee. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele noted that the recent crash in global oil prices, surrounded by uncertainties among OPEC Plus members, has affected the country's revenues and further put a burden on the local economy. 10 members of the MPC in attendance voted unanimously to retain the cash reserve ratio CRR at 27.5%, liquidity ratio at 30%, as well as the asymmetric corridor around the MPR at plus 200 and minus 500 basis points.
Committee reviewed the policy options before it and argued that the option of tightening at this time will contradict the noble initiative of the expansion of affordable credit to the real sector, noting that this would heighten the cost of production, which will translate to higher prices of goods and services and harder economic conditions for our people.
Members of the committee rose from the meeting calling for concerted efforts by both fiscal and policy monitors to ensure more attention is placed on stimulus packages to the real sector to rejig the economy. In Abuja, I'm Chimobi Walter Naji, NTA News.
And on business news, Minister of Finance presents symbolic Sukuk checks worth 162.5 billion naira for 44 road projects. Moplank the Coke is here with details. Moplank, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kene. So we begin with the reaction on the decision by the CBN to retain the monetary policy rate and other parameters. An economic analyst, Johnson Chukwu, says he sees the decision by the MPC shaping the economy in the coming months, bearing in mind a steady rise in inflation and key diversification steps already taken by the federal government.
Even the variables, the economic variables, like the central bank governor said, we really can't afford to tighten now, despite the pressure on inflation rate, the pressure on the exchange rate, because you really need to rather stimulate the economy. At the same time, you can't afford to be losing, because if you're losing, you're watching those tendencies of pressures on exchange rate and inflation rate. So it was a situation where the most rational thing for the Monetary Policy Committee to have done is what they did, which was to keep the benchmark rates at current level. I think on credit creation, we should see a slow credit creation as it relates to private sector credit. On the exchange rate, we should expect that Naira will continue to come under pressure.
In another development, the federal government says it is encouraged by the tremendous success recorded in road projects in the country through the sovereign Sukuk financing instrument. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed, while handing over the symbolic third-part Sukuk check to the Minister of Works and Housing, says the comments and feedbacks on the road projects are uplifting.
Realization of this 162.55 billion for the and the release today of this check to the Federal Minister of Works and Housing, that the amount appropriated for roads designed to be financed by Sukuk in the 2020 budget will have been released 100%.
Investing in that instrument. I assure you that we value that trust. From the evidence of what has happened to Sukuk 1 and Sukuk 2, your trust is not misplaced, and it will not be misplaced in the 44 road projects that will benefit from this Sukuk.
The 150 billion naira Sukuk offered recently by the Debt Management Office was oversubscribed.
A number of the contractors have confirmed that they have been able to go back to site and have worked extra hard to get the jobs completed, knowing that funds were available. So job creation has been one strong positive outcome. Of course, there's financial inclusion as well, because we want a complete financial market, as well as the development of the domestic capital market. All of this attributable to Sukuk.
Government is of the view that with the deployment of the Sukuk funds, as well as other capital releases and various interventions, the economy will be firmly placed on the path of economic development. And talking stocks, transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange opened the week in negative territory as investors lost 9.43 billion naira. The NSE Oil Share Index and market capitalization dropped by 0.07% to close at 24,269.58 basis points as traders exchanged 305 million shares valued at 2.1 billion naira in 3,258 deals. Transaction in the shares of Sovereign Trust Insurance topped the activity chart in terms of volume of traded shares. Adova, GlaxoSmith and Fitson were the top price gainers for the day, while Cortex, Nymet and Etisalat led the losers table. And that's it on business. Over to you, Kenneth.
Thank you, Moplang.
Okay.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a passionate get well message to the recuperating Saudi monarch, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. In the message, the president, on behalf of himself, government and people of Nigeria, prayed for speedy and full recovery of the king, describing him as one of the finest leaders and true friend of Nigeria. A statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, says President Buhari sent his best wishes as the king receives medical attention. Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari expresses sadness of his family and that of the nation on the demise of Malam Ismaila Issa Funtua. A statement from the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, quoted President Buhari as describing the late publisher and life patron of the International Press Institute and the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria as someone he greatly respected and admired. President Buhari prayed to Allah for the repose of his soul and strength and fortitude to the bereaved family to bear the loss. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has condoled with Governor Fintiri Lamido of Adamawa and the Modibo family over the death of Adamu Mwazu Modibo. The SGF described the late politician as an illustrious son who served Adamawa and her people passionately and contributed to the state's development. He prayed God to grant him eternal rest and the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Adeola Komiakere in Lagos brings us the next set of reports.
Rehabilitation work has commenced on several designated alternative routes in anticipation of the scheduled closure of the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. To ensure free flow of traffic during the 6-month period, the Lagos State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps will deploy 250 personnel to manage impending traffic situation. Dotun Oguyemi has the report.
It seems the elements are in favor of the repairs taking place along the alternative routes, as there has been no rainfall in Lagos in the past few days, allowing the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency to speedily carry out the repairs.
We are expediting action on this because of the Third Mainland Bridge that will be closed on Friday. We are hoping to substantially by Friday, in fact by Thursday, substantially, most of them will have been completed.
We have decided to carry out maintenance work on them to ensure that there's a seamless flow of traffic during the period that the Third Mainland Bridge will be closed.
As preparations reach an advanced stage, the FRSC says it is concerned about the activities of articulated vehicles, which have cumulatively recorded 133 accidents in the last 6 months.
If we don't checkmate this, it's going to affect our operation that is coming up very soon. That's the closure of the Third Mainland Bridge. Because all the alternative routes, we cannot afford to allow a vehicle to break down.
The FRSC also warned tanker owners to desist from overloading and put their vehicles in good shape to prevent accidents on the road. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has adjourned ruling to the 28th of July 2020 on the bail applications of the 10 suspected sea pirates standing trial for hijacking a fishing vessel at the Gulf of Guinea. Justice Ayokunle Faji gave the order after submissions of counsels to the case. Tunde Saiki reports.
The trial of the 10 alleged sea pirates was conducted under strict adherence to social distancing rule of not more than 20 persons wearing face masks in the courtroom. The suspects all pleaded not guilty to the charges. On applications for bail of all the defendants, the three counsels, Omoni Arwayo, Joe Ngukedi, and Monde Mawal, argued that since investigations have been concluded, the defendants cannot tamper with the evidence and that they are presumed innocent as well as not having any criminal record. They also argued that the criminal informations against the defendants did not disclose any cogent grounds sufficient to detain them, adding that the alleged offences are bailable since they carry a 15-year jail term if found guilty. The prosecution counsel, Kende Bode Ayeni, filed a 14-page counter-affidavit and a written address urging the court to refuse the bail applications and give the case an accelerated hearing. Justice Ayokunle Faji then adjourned to the 28th of July 2020 for ruling on the applications. It could be recalled that the 10 accused persons were alleged to have, sometimes in May this year, while armed with weapons, hijacked a fishing vessel on the international waters at Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, thereby violating Section 3 of Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019. They were arrested by the Nigerian Navy officers on board ship NNS Nguru in Lagos. Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
It's time for us to take another break. The news will continue thereafter. To stay on.
Data plan. All existing Glow customers now enjoy up to 20% more data. Dial *777# to choose a plan. Glow Unlimited.
Here is a very tough guy who knocks out every opponent, but now he's been knocked down by malaria.
Amatem Soft Gel.
Amatem Soft Gel makes treating malaria easy. Amatem Soft Gel is a game changer.
Amatem Soft Gel are good to combat malaria for body.
Available for adults and children. Say no to malaria. Yes to life.
Win a Samsung home makeover worth 1.5 million naira weekly. Wow! In the Samsung Smile Naija promo, daily prizes of Samsung TVs, refrigerators, smart wristwatches, and other exciting prizes also to be won. Buy any of the Samsung smartphones or electronics to stand a chance to win. Promo runs from July 15th to August 5th, 2020. Hurry now while stocks last. Terms and conditions apply.
The risk of illness-causing germs is increasing. It is believed that the coronavirus can remain on surfaces in your home for up to 9 days. Touching infected surfaces is one of the ways in which germs spread. Regularly disinfect your floors, countertops, and kitchen surfaces with bleach, and use an effective toilet cleaner inside and outside your toilet bowl. This message is brought to you by Medifact, Jig, and Harpic.
Dermatologically tested Bevan Baby Diapers makes babies happy with elastic side bands, breathable external layers, barrier to help prevent leakage, and makes families happy with its affordable price.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it. Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white cloths, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Period pain may stop you at the worst time. Don't let period pain hold you back from being your best. Panadol Extra, effective relief from period pain.
Welcome back. Early-stage human trials of a COVID-19 vaccine developed by Oxford University proves promising as Nigeria records 11 deaths from the novel coronavirus. Uche Ugochukwu reports.
COVID-19 vaccine developed by the University of Oxford appears productive as trials of the vaccine involving 1,077 people show that the injection led to them making antibodies and white blood cells that can fight coronavirus. Findings are hugely promising. However, experts say it is still too early to conclude if the drug can offer total protection as more trials are underway. The UK has already ordered 100 million doses of the vaccine. At 6 p.m. local time, 14,739,201 persons have been infected with coronavirus globally, out of which 610,723 persons have died, while 8,790,767 people have recovered from the disease, as published on the COVID-19 dashboard of the World Health Organization. From this figure, the share of the African continent shows 720,622 confirmed cases, 15,155 deaths, and 382,857 recoveries. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control also puts the total number of positive cases of the virus in the country at 36,663, with 789 deaths, while 15,105 cases have been discharged. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
For resettlement of displaced persons, the federal government is adopting and implementing a composite approach for short and long-term development of communities affected by the decade-long insurgency in the Northeast. The Managing Director of Northeast Development Commission, Dr. Mohammed Goni Alkali, disclosed this while addressing progress of work on Phase 1 of housing program for the resettlement of displaced persons at Ngom village of Mafa local government in Borno State. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
Ngom village in Mafa local government, Borno State, 26 kilometers from Maiduguri, the state capital, was a thriving livestock market community displaced by insurgents for 8 years until the current resettlement program commenced in the last 2 years. The village was selected by Borno State government for the first phase of the federal government 10,000 housing units executed by the NDDC, out of which 100 have reached 90% level of completion. The Managing Director NDDC, Mohammed Goni Alkali, after assessment of the construction work, assured the community that the federal government is not unmindful of their needs, adding that the remaining 900 houses earmarked for construction in the village will follow soon.
We talk about resettlement, reintegration and all sorts, but you must get somewhere you are going to keep people, and that will start with housing.
On security intervention for the returnee communities by the Commission, the MD explained that security agencies have taken delivery of operational vehicles provided by the NEDC, with more sectors expected to receive attention in spite of misconceptions on its spendings by some quarters. The NEDC assured the people of continuous flow of social amenities and interventions that will see to the training of health personnel, revival of agriculture, and rebuilding of school infrastructure for a dignified return of displaced communities in the region. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, has reaffirmed government's commitment to ensure that no state is left behind in its intervention program during this COVID-19 pandemic. This was when Governor of Gombe State, Mohammed Inuwayaya, paid a visit to the ministry to reel out some of the challenges faced by the state. In the area of social development of the Northeast, especially in Gombe State, the governor also made a request that farmers are included in the ongoing distribution of fertilizers.
We are joining hands in order to provide the ground on which a lot of people will be engaged through social intervention and through the support to small and medium scale enterprises, so that our people can now key into the programs of the federal government and engage and re-engage those that are down the ladder, so that together we can move in tandem and change the tides and fortunes of the country.
We must work together with the state government to see that we take all these meaningful interventions to their citizens, and we are really committed to doing that. In the area of even the social investment programs, we have many programs in that, and also in the area of disaster mitigation, preparedness and response, as well as in the area of the humanitarian intervention.
The minister also assured the governor that the ministry would take immediate action in response to mitigating flood disaster in the state. Now to politics. It was indeed homecoming for the immediate past chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, as the people of Esako West local government rolled out their drums to welcome him back home. The elated Comrade Oshiomhole is grateful to President Buhari for the opportunity to serve and has vowed to continue with the APC-led administration to take the nation to higher heights. David Ire reports.
Having served as the national chairman of the party, his intention was to quietly come home and strategize for the governorship election ahead. But the people are smarter as they trooped to his country home to welcome him. For the leader who has become a symbol of the party, his coming home is not to rest, but to complete his ongoing project of reclaiming the Edo governorship seats for APC.
My task now is to support the government to ensure that governance operates in a way that will deliver happiness, prosperity, health, and well-being of the ordinary man that these teamings of women and youth represent. That is all I owe them, and it's a huge debt that I owe them.
Some defectors were received from the PDP to the APC family. In Iyamo Uzaire, David Ire, NTA News.
We now take you to Sokoto for more, and Asma'u Habibu Shagari takes us through.
Thank you, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. The Emir of Yauri in Kebbi State, Dr. Muhammad Zayanu Abdullahi, has commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his commitment to the diversification of the country's economy through agriculture. Nuretonko Wakili reports that the Emir says the federal government's provision of enabling environment and huge investment in various agricultural commodity value chain is deliberate in attempt to put the country on the path of sustainable growth and development. The report.
Tomato is one of the perishables produced in large quantity by farmers across Kebbi State, with attendant post-harvest losses due to the absence of processing and storage facilities. To address this and change the narratives of tomatoes production in the state and the entire country, Kebbi State government, with support from the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria, facilitated the establishment of a multi-million naira tomato processing factory, expected to be the largest in sub-Saharan Africa when completed. It was therefore a welcome development and relief to the people of the Yauri Emirate and the entire state, as the factory is expected to provide thousands of direct and indirect jobs to communities, with about 5,000 outgrowers to be engaged from the local farmers. The Emir of Yaoundé, Dr. Muhammad Zayyanu Abdullahi, who took tour of the factory, described it as a milestone achievement by both federal and state government.
This is something which not only people of Yaoundé, but Kebbi, Nigeria whole should be proud of.
The Emir urged Nigerians to take advantage of the springing agro-allied industries across the country to better their lives and contribute to nation building. Apart from the tomato processing factory, Yaoundé Emirate is also hosting one of the multi-million naira rice mills currently under construction. Nura Tanko Wakili, NTA News.
Maritime Development Initiative is to partner United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, to promote girl-child education and strengthen the fight against gender-based violence in Sokoto. This came to the fore as wife of Sokoto State Governor Maria Aminu Waziri Tambuwal held a meeting with officials of UNICEF in Sokoto on how best to assist the vulnerable. Abdurrahman Osman Jibrila completes the report.
Some of the issues that dominated discussion at the meeting include girl-child education, gender-based violence, among other challenges facing women and children. The meeting was an opportunity for the Maritime Development Initiative to go memory lane to count some of its success stories on promoting girl-child education, series of enlightenment programs on gender-based violence, visco-vaginal fistula, and various empowerment initiatives for the vulnerable families. With the achievements of the Maritime Development Initiative in different sectors, UNICEF expressed readiness to collaborate with the governor's wife in the areas of education and women empowerment.
Looking what she is doing in her organization, we know that there is so many areas where we can develop our activities.
Maria Aminu Waziri Tambuwal appreciated UNICEF and pledged to work with the fund towards improving the lives of women and children in the state.
My passion and my mission are the same. We are concerned about the protection of children.
The resolutions of the meeting are expected to impact positively on the masses. In Sokoto, Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
And that's it from Sokoto. The news will continue with Kenny in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Asmaul. We'll now go on another break on the news.
Every house has its own rules. But in this house, rules can be deceiving. Follow them, bend them, break them, make them. The house can't win if you beat it at its own game. Play your cards right. Be heard. Be seen. Change perception. Expose the players. Reveal the drama, the passion, the charm, the deceit. All eyes are on you, but keep your eye on the prize. Run the risks, take the house. Only one king or queen will ace the game on Big Brother Naija. Season 5 starts 19th of July, 7 p.m. on DSTV Channel 198 and GoTV Channel 29. Headline sponsor, Betway. Gold sponsor, Guinness. Rated 18.
With heavy hearts but total submission to God, the Nasamu family of Iviegui quarters, Fugar Esako Central LGA, announced the passing on to glory of our patriarch, brother, father, uncle, and cousin, Sir Azemobo Babatunde Charles Nasamu, KSM JP. He was aged 94 years. Burial arrangements. Vigil Mass, 23rd July, time 4 p.m. Venue, St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Fugar. Funeral Mass, 24th July, time 9 a.m. Venue, St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Fugar. Interment follows immediately at the Catholic cemetery beside the church. He is survived by sisters, cousins, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nephews, nieces, and many more other relatives. May his soul rest in peace. Major General Mike A. Nasamu, retired. For the family, announcer.
Voting is about now being rounded up at the APC governorship election primary holding in Akure, the Ondo State capital, as voters describe the exercise as peaceful and orderly. Collation of results will commence as soon as voting ends. Menao Kobosia updates us on happenings from our Enugu Center.
Has restated her commitment to supporting manufacturing initiatives that add to the economic growth of the state. The state deputy governor stated this while receiving donation of hand-washing devices from a manufacturing company. Susan Eze has the report.
Impressed by the demonstration on the use of the hand-free hand-washing device, the governor, who was represented by the deputy, noted that the device is quite suitable for use in public places, especially in schools where there is great need for strict compliance to the hygiene protocols when the schools reopen.
Now that the federal government has released some guidelines for school reopening, of which we know one of them is this kind of gadgets to enable students and pupils to wash their hands properly before entering the school. We have read the mind of the government of Enugu State by providing these gadgets.
She assured the donors that Enugu State government is ever ready to support manufacturers in the state as their operations generate job opportunities and stimulate economic growth. General Manager Ifeanyi Ogbonna said the donation is in appreciation and support of the state government in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic.
This hand-free washing device developed in Anamgu to support the government of Enugu State in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. We want to say really thank you because we appreciate all the effort of the government in fighting this pandemic so far.
The donor promised more support to the government in the fight against COVID-19. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
As part of its efforts in curbing the spread of COVID-19 in the country, the Enugu State Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps has embarked on an on-the-spot inspection of major motor parks in the state to ensure that both passengers and transport operators are complying with the federal government's COVID-19 safety protocols. Jude Abugu monitored the inspection and now reports.
Part of what the FRSC officials are checking include compliance with 2 passenger space seat directive, the use of face masks, provision of hand washing and personal hygiene materials for passengers' use, as well as the general sanitary condition of motor parks. The sector commander took time to educate passengers on COVID-19, commended Peace Mass Transit for taking extra precautionary measures to protect both its staff and passengers from COVID-19. He, however, urged the company to increase the number of hand washing points in its motor parks.
A campaign to ensure that everybody obeys federal government directive is about our own safety, it's about our own life, it's about our own health.
The manager explained that the company turns down any intending passenger without face mask and equally disinfects all its vehicles and premises twice daily. In Enugu, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to you, Kenneth, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Mina. Before we go, here is a public service announcement. And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Thanks indeed for watching.